Welcome. This is the virtual competitor briefing for the 2021 Goblin Optimist Regatta, and we're super excited to be hosting it again under more normal circumstances, which is awesome. So I got to start off with a couple of quick thank yous and also let you all know that we will have a competitor briefing at 10:30 on Saturday as well, but it'll be kind of short on the beach. This is, kind of giving you a vibe for what to expect when you arrive here and where parking is and where to go, etc. But I do want to start off by thanking the Santa Barbara Yacht Club, the Santa Barbara Youth Sailing Foundation, all of the many race committee and onshore volunteers, and of course our regatta chair, Greg Smith, who stepped up last second to make this happen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so let's get to it. I'm going to share screen for the official event page. It's also where our virtual notice board is. So right now you're seeing sbyc.org/goblin-optimist-regatta. And if you scroll down, there's a virtual notice board that's got a lot of what you need. So I'll start with parking, which is really important. That's attachment P, parking. When you get here, there is Cabrillo Boulevard. Hold on, let me give you a better kind of lay of the land. So we'll start with the harbor map. So when you arrive in town, you can be coming from this direction, or you might be coming from Cabrillo Boulevard or Cabrillo Boulevard. To get to where we are, which is right here, and that's the launch ramp, the public launch ramp for the Santa Barbara Harbor, not to be mistaken with the Yacht Club, which is over here. The Yacht Club's hosting it, and this is the Yacht Club's parking, but we're over here. Okay, so when you get here, you're going to go along Cabrillo Boulevard, which turns into Shoreline Drive. And then you're going to take a left-hand turn. And right away, right here, let me see if I can zoom in on this a little bit. There we go. That's going to be way better. Okay, so you're cruising along Shoreline Drive, take your left-hand turn. You're going to take a left-hand turn into, there's like a little gated thing right here where you can take a ticket for parking. And then they'll give you a ticket for your trailer, and I think for your vehicle too. And then you're going to go all the way along the harbor. There's a little gate here that automatically opens up. You come over here. And then what you're going to do is park your Opti trailers back in this back row. The cars attached to trailers can be put in stalls that are yellow. So cars with trailers attached to them, but the stalls that are yellow are for trailers. If a car is attached to the trailer, it's good to go. If the car is not attached to a trailer, that's not okay. So white stalls are only for the cars that are not attached to trailers, just single cars. And so actually this isn't the best map. I wish I'd done the other one, but these are all yellow stalls. These are all yellow stalls. The only white stalls in this area are here and here. And then there's white stalls here and white stalls here, and that's for single vehicles in here. And then there's a whole bunch more over there. So like these longer ones with dots, these are all yellow and meant for trailer parking or for cars that are attached to trailers. So we want to put all of our Optis in this back row here, and you can once you get your boats unloaded, you can put them on your dollies, but it's got to kind of stay in these back row. And then these rows, you can put any coach boats, any trailers. There's no restrictions. It's got to be in the yellow stalls because it's a trailer, but other than that, there's no restrictions. So it's important to do that so you don't get a ticket. We don't run this parking lot. We borrow it or use it. It's a public launch ramp area. And as such, there are some parking fees. They're not very expensive. I think it's like $8 a day or something, but there are some fees. All right, so when you're launching, there's 3 launch ramps. There's one right here, one right here, and one right here. You're going to want to launch from the eastmost launch ramp. Okay, eastmost launch ramp. Keep in mind that the launch ramp can be slippery at times. So you want to make sure that if it's low tide, you're extra cautious when you're launching. When you're rigging your boats, etc., it says do not block roadways. So don't block roadways and don't have conversations here. Like if you want to have a conversation, see some friends, say, oh, nice, walk over, there's a sidewalk right here. Or there's a little park right here, or there's a beach right here. but don't stand in these roadways. Harbor Patrol drives back and forth and kind of gets, they'll kind of shout at you. And we'll also have parking monitors reminding you of that. So, you know, boats that are creeping over may be asked to move back into these stalls as they're rigging. So keep aisleways clear. Coach briefings can happen on the beach. This is kind of where our competitor briefing will be. So this is the beach over here. I actually wish I had put a better picture. Here we go. This is a better picture. So you can see it now a little bit more from an aerial view. So this is the back row of the parking lot. These are yellow stalls, yellow stalls, yellow stalls. You can do any of this. We're going to launch off eastmost dinghy ramp. Okay. Regatta headquarters are right over here. So you want to come over here for check-in and also for the competitor briefing, which will be over there. So big question has been about check-in. For check-in, you only need to really come to check-in and was to get your shirt and your lunch pack. So it's like a snack pack. There's not sandwiches or anything, but like 4 little items there that each sailor gets for their snack pack. But the shirts, like many other things around the world, the shipment of the actual materials got held up. So the shirt printer could not print them in time because they still don't even have the shirts. So we're going to have to mail them to everybody, and I truly apologize about that, but it is what it is. And so we'll work with that. All right, so let me rewind for a second. One of the things that's happened is, of course, the Alisal fire, and a lot of people have been very concerned about it. I want you to know that it hasn't been just like from a pure smelling smoke outside, there hasn't been really much. It's very clear. I'm gonna show you a couple of things that you can look at that it might be helpful. So this is the Air Now one. And so as you can see, we're in moderate here. Oh, this is Long Beach, sorry. 93109. All right, so Santa Barbara, it's lower than Long Beach. So we got it 61 in Santa Barbara down by the harbor. There's also a couple of online apps that I'm gonna email out, but this one, it's aqicn.org. And so basically each competitor and parent, competitors, you need to make that decision for yourself and your own, breathing health or whatever. But according to what these things say, it says unless you're unusually sensitive to particle pollution, this is fine. Additionally, as many of you know, sailing, well, it is a sport, isn't quite as rigorous athletically speaking as perhaps soccer or something like that. So the good news is that it shouldn't be affecting too much. Additionally, as we're further out, we should be okay. The other thing I'll mention is we did speak to 2 fire authorities, and they felt that it was fine. And they think it will continue to be fine. That being said, everybody's got to make their decision for themselves. So there's no judgment cast from us. If you decide you don't want to sail the regatta, not a big deal at all. There's a live webcam. It's if you just Google Santa Barbara webcams, you can actually pull up, views of the harbor, etc. So if you want to see how clear the skies are or whatever, it was very clear today. We were out practicing. So, but again, each to each their own, and you can decide whether you want to do it or not. Now, I want to be clear that we are going to continue monitoring this, and if things change dramatically and we find ourselves in a position where we say, well, this really is kind of sketchy, then of course we will have to consider the possible cancellation of a race day. As it is right now, the authorities I spoke to did not believe. They said the 101's now open. The fire is hitting areas that have already been burnt recently. And the winds have not been high in the past 24 hours. So they're getting it under control, and it hasn't been spreading terribly fast recently. At first it was, and it sort of stopped. So I just wanted to kind of get the fire thing out of the way. We are going to be hosting it. You can check the webcams and look at it. You can also check airnow.gov, or the local county one is, and just double check this. aqicn.org. And I'm assuming you just search Santa Barbara. It's really important not to look at Goleta or Gaviota or something else. You're gonna want to look at Santa Barbara, or if possible, Santa Barbara Harbor, because that's where we'll be. We won't be up north near the fire. So anyway, that's it. All right, let's go and move on to something a little bit more fun. Back to this. So as you can see, we're going to be in this launch ramp area. Here's our regatta headquarters. Parking, if you really want to save money, there is free parking at Pershing Park here. Also on Bath Street, there is sometimes free parking. So it's not that long a walk from here. So if you're like, I really want to save the $8 a day, you could do that. Though check for trailers. I don't know that that's true about trailers. It's true for cars. Coach boats. Okay, so once you've got your coach boats here, you can launch off of any of the ramps, preferably these two, because the dinghies go off the east ramps. And at that point, this is very important. In the past, we have let boats stay on the UCSB dock. That is not available to us anymore. We cannot do that. So do not put your boat on the UCSB dock, coaches. Okay, where you can put your boat is if it's going to be here for a temporary period of time. For instance, as you're like watching boats launch, you can launch your coach boat. It's tied off here. Then you can head out to the ocean, sail, watch your kids, come in, and then end-tie D. So you're going to go up the main channel, and there's the Yacht Club end-tie. We'll have the race committee boat on here, which I think is like 40 feet, and it's an 80-foot end-tie. So it should be like enough to put several whalers rafted here. If it gets really full there and it's rafted out more than like 3 or 4 deep, then we can have boats come around this way and go to the Santa Barbara Youth Foundation dock, which is right here. So that's the second option. The first one is end-tie D, it's no further walk. And I just want to get clear about this. This looks like this really long walk, and it is if you're not used to it, but truth be told, from the Youth Foundation dock over to the launch ramp is probably about 7 minutes walk. Yacht Club to the launch ramp, 7 minutes. So it's not that bad. It's just a nice walk. So you get to look at all the boats and stuff. All right, so coach boats may be stored on the end-tie D, not on UCSB's dock. Okay, when you were returning from racing, it would be nice if you could gather your students, your sailors, before just letting them sail in willy-nilly and random, and maybe get like a group heading in one at a time so we don't have a big bunch up at the launch ramp. And you have to keep in mind, there's like one little rinse station over here. We'll have somebody with quarters that'll be pumping quarters into the rinse station to rinse boats as they come out, but it's going to be a little bit of a clog. So, you know, hopefully boats sail in and it's you know, a nice even stream, and we're not, you know, you quickly get rinsed off, run it back to the back row. One thing I forgot to mention is when you're launching, your dollies, you know, you launch, make sure the dollies go all the way back to that back row. They cannot stay down here. We can't just drop them at the launch ramp and go. So you're going to need to work with your parents and your volunteers, and we'll have volunteers obviously too, but ideally, you know, work with coaches and parents, try to make sure that you get your dollies back there. All right, bathrooms. I'm gonna zoom in a little more. So there's bathrooms right here and right here. This is at a building called Sea Landing. There's an individual men and women's restroom. And then if you walk a little bit over here, there's kind of like a larger community bathroom, separate men's and women's, that you can use. As I mentioned, the shirts, the Goblin shirts are a cool design, you know, dry shirts. They're not ready yet, so I apologize, but we'll confirm your size at check-in to make sure we're getting the right size for you. The notice board is a virtual notice board, so it is here. So notices will go right up on here, and I'll usually send an email to the parents and competitors that it's up there. Each day, you need to sign in online. So the way we know you're going on the water is that you sign in. And this is your way to change sail numbers too. So if you're like, go out and you're like, oh, I changed my sail number from 24 to 28, then you do that. You do that each day by 10:45. daily online sign-in. That's an actual rule. So you have to do that. And the penalty can be a little bit at the discretion of the protest committee, but just be aware that's a rule. You have to sign in. Your coach can sign in all your competitors. So I don't care who's signing in the competitors. What we want to know is who's going on the water, and they need to be signed in. Okay, so we know who we're looking for. All right, great. Let's see here. Protest forms are also online. So if you have to file a protest at the end of the day, you just go to our Goblin-Optimist-Regatta online protest form and you fill it out. That's it. And that'll automatically update. And then I know that we have a protest filed and we get our jury together. Beyond that, the race committee boat for the championship fleet is going to be a large sailboat. I think like 40 to 50 feet. I'm not exactly sure the make of it, but I can specify that more at the in-person briefing. And the green fleet and the champ fleet will be sailing directly like out in front of the Santa Barbara Yacht Club. So if you wanted to spectate the championship fleet, you could walk over to the Santa Barbara Yacht Club, sit on the beach right here, and look out at the water right here, and you would see the sailors. If you want to watch the green fleet, they'll be sailing right in the harbor here, and you could literally probably throw stuff to them or whatever, because they're going to be really close. So you could be sitting on the beach right here watching your sailors right here for the green fleet. We'll have a separate green fleet competitor briefing tomorrow after we do our champ fleet competitor briefing. And let's see here. There's a costume contest on Sunday, the famous costume contest. There will be prizes for that. And you're welcome to include your boat as part of it, or you don't have to do it, but we encourage you to. I know I'll be dressed up, so should be really fun. It's a good chance to get your test your costume out before the real deal on October 31st. So bring your costume by, and we'll probably do the costume contest. I don't know. I'll have to see, but I think we'll just announce by megaphone. It might be bring your boats over to the beach, and like we'll just do it right over here so we can get pictures and stuff. But that'll be announced. That's at 10:30 on Sunday. Other than that, I'd like to thank our PROs, dream team of John Ziskind, dad John Ziskind running the Champ Fleet course, and daughter Zoe Ziskind on the inside running the Green Fleet course. I want a big shout out to the youth sailors of the Santa Barbara Youth Sailing Foundation. We have a bunch of high school sailors helping us out with race committee this weekend, and I've worked with them, and they're going to be awesome. Like, it's going to be great race committee. So very excited for that. Very excited for John and Zoe. And thank you to all our volunteers. I believe I have wrapped up everything I've got. I didn't mention COVID-19 because we don't have, based on our restrictions that we had last year, we don't need to have those anymore. We're outdoors. And so it's not really a concern to wear masks outdoors. Clearly will be plenty of space on the water. So we don't really have any restrictions about that. With that in mind though, I think obviously always keep it in mind. We're so grateful that we get the chance to host these events, and doing our due diligence to be thoughtful and respectful is always helpful. And last comment, trash. Make sure if you have any trash, if any reason we're onshore postponement, make sure you're using the trash bins that are around to throw your trash away. Do not let it drop on the ground. It's going to blow right in the ocean, and we need that ocean to be good for our racing. So trash is a big deal to me and to the yacht club, and we want to make sure we keep the harbor lot clean and our community clean. All right, that's pretty much all I've got. If you want to get a hold of me, if you have questions, my email is racing@sbyc.org. And again, if you just go to the event page and you look in the notice of race, that information is of course right at the bottom. Here you go. There's the number. And again, if you have any concerns or anything about anything else, just reach out to us. We're happy to answer questions. Any question that's sent to me via email, I'll answer the whole fleet. And if it's pertinent information for everybody via email. So we'll look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Again, the check-in on shore is not like this mandatory thing. It's to get your lunch, and it was to get your shirt and be like, oh, you're here. So don't worry about that, but you must virtually sign in online for us to know you're going out on the water. If you don't do that, then we're assuming you're not racing that day. Okay, so that's how we know you're racing. You have to sign in online. All right, thanks everybody. Happy Halloween. We're really looking forward to seeing you. I wish I'd worn a costume for this. I should have worn a costume. All right, well, anyway, we look forward to see you. Have safe travels. As I saw today, literally at 4:10 today, the 101's back open. If anything changes, I'll shoot out an email, but that is the latest I've seen. So we'll look forward to seeing you on Saturday.